4 Premier League losses in a row now for Leicester City, and pressure is really beginning to mount on Brendan Rodgers following a frustrating and lacklustre performance on Thursday as we lost to Manchester United. A trip to the Amex is now the focus now for Leicester as we take on Graham Potter's Brighton, who will also be looking to bounce back following a 2-1 defeat to Fulham in midweek as well. Today I'll be breaking down Leicester City versus Brighton at the Amex, looking tactically at how Leicester could potentially get a result out of this. Yes lads, how you all doing? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. But yeah, just before we get into today's match preview, drop a like on today's video if you guys going to enjoy. Subscribe as well to the channel if you haven't already, just to cheer me up. And as I always say, let me know your thoughts ahead of Brighton and Leicester in the comment section down below. But yeah, I want to start waffling and let's get into the Brighton versus Leicester match preview, and let's hopefully try and discuss a potential win. But yeah, a very quick turnaround then for Leicester, as of course we only played on Thursday night in that 1-0 defeat to Manchester United at the King Power, and as we know, a very frustrating result. A massive reaction is needed, which is obviously pretty obvious, but that game alone, Leicester showed no fight, no passion, just no desire really to get on the front foot. It was too slow, and that needs to change against Brighton tomorrow. Talking tactically, in that game against Manchester United, Brendan Rodgers went with a 4-1-4-1 kind of formation. This is how Leicester set up with, of course, Danny Ward in goal, Justin at right back, Wilfred Ndidi at centre back alongside Johnny Evans. Luke Thomas came in at left back. Samare was the only holding midfielder with Maddison on the right, Tielemans and Dewsbury in the middle with Barnes on the left and Jamie Vardy leading the line. It's pretty clear that that formation obviously didn't really work. I think defensively we weren't great, but going forward we couldn't really create too many chances, and that's why in this game against Brighton, I want to see the formation being switched up. If we stick to that same formation, those kind of tactics, how is it going to improve? Because against United, it really showed it. It was a very poor, frustrating performance, and Leicester just looked sucked out of all ideas really going forward and defensively as well. And that's why against Brighton tomorrow, I want to see a different formation. The formation I've gone with is going to be the 3-5-2 formation, which matched up to Brighton. Of course, it can be the 5-3-2 as well. So this is how the formation then looks on paper. Obviously, you have got that back 5, which could be obviously back 3 with the 2 wings backs, providing that with the midfield 3 is going to be key, and obviously 2 strikers up top, which I think we need to, because against United, Vardy was very isolated and didn't get much service at all. So in goal then, we'll be going with Daniel Iverson, if you know, you know. Right back, Timothy Castagna, I think he has to play. If he doesn't play, questions need to be asked, because Castagna, in my opinion, is our best fullback. The 3 centre-backs then, Sunchi comes into the side, Johnny Evans stays there, and Faze will make his Leicester debut, fingers crossed. Left wing back, Luke Thomas stays there. I think he did quite well against United compared to others. Samare keeps his place in midfield, because likewise I think he was quite good. Tielemans in there alongside James Maddison, who for me has to play central this game, and the 2 strikers up top being Kelechi Iheanacho and Jamie Vardy. I think them 2 will work quite nicely. Obviously, around 60 minutes into the game, we could see the likes of Patson Daka come on to replace Vardy. We'll discuss Brighton a bit later on in today's video, but the Seagulls so far this season and against Fulham did line up with a very similar formation. And with the way Leicester are playing right now, I think the best thing to do is just to match up formations and just try and win those individual battles, because I think, you know, our squad on paper still has a lot of quality in it. Obviously defensively is going to be very key in this game as well. Brighton look quite good going forward, and Leicester of course haven't kept a clean sheet so far. So for me, Daniel Iverson comes in goal. Now obviously we do joke about him, but I'm actually being serious. I think the back 5 potentially needs to come in because the back 4 doesn't work. So I think, you know, the 3 centre backs is a shout. Obviously Sunchi coming back into the side, Johnny Evans in there, and Faze potentially making his Leicester debut. For me, we need to go 2 wing backs, just providing that width. And for me, them 2 are Luke Thomas and Timothy Castagna, especially Castagna, because I think, you know, we did miss Castagna a lot on Thursday evening. We all know that Castagna can offer a big threat going forward, but also defensively he's very reliable as well, and playing those 3 centre backs just allows Castagna and Thomas on the other side to have a bit more presence to, you know, go forward, because the cover is there as well. You've probably realised if you look towards the midfield, I have dropped Kylian Dewsbury and Wilfred Ndidi. I think, you know, them 2, obviously Ndidi played at centre back. I think he did alright there, but it's just not his natural position. I think Samare doesn't really deserve to get dropped, and I just think you need to have James Maddison Tielemans in there. So sadly, Kieran misses out. I think, you know, he can definitely be a good option off the bench. Alongside him on the bench, obviously we got the likes of Dennis Pratt in there as well, who for me simply have to feature in this game depending on the score. 60 minutes, bring Pratt, bring Kieran on, freshen things up, and as we know, Leicester have got some good depth in those midfield areas, and of course you got lots of Ndidi who can come on as well. And yeah, 2 strikers up top. I think this is the way Leicester need to go. United's game, Vardy, very isolated. Didn't get too much chance. So for me, if you stick Iheanacho alongside Vardy up top, it could potentially work quite nicely. And just as I said, around 60 minutes, 70 minutes into the game, Patson Daka's an option as well. Do I think Brendan Rodgers will go with this formation tomorrow? Highly doubt it, because he'll probably stay stubborn. But for me, I just think something needs to change, obviously. We all know that. So I think going back to this formation, it's worked quite nicely in the past. If you look at Leicester's FA Cup run, Vardy, Iheanacho up top worked very nicely together. And if you look at this team, Leicester have got lots of depth in there, especially in midfield. You got Daka up top. You got Barnes. Obviously, we can revert back to a 4-3-3 and bring lots of Barnes, Perez on as well. So this formation, it can be flexible as well. And coming up against a side like Brighton, Leicester need to be on our game tomorrow. Seagulls currently sit in 4th place in the Premier League table as I'm recording this. However, last time out, Graham Potter's men did suffer a 2-1 defeat to Fulham at Craven Cottage in midweek. So they'll be looking to bounce back, obviously, this Sunday. They also have a very good home record so far this season. They are unbeaten at home and haven't even conceded a goal so far this season at the Amex. Despite that though, looking back on previous seasons, Leicester usually travel quite well to the Amex. Obviously last season we did lose in a very controversial game, but apart from that, Leicester usually do quite well against Brighton, so hopefully history can repeat itself tomorrow. And even after that 2-1 loss to Fulham, I still think their confidence will be quite high. Come back to the home stadium, to the Amex, the fans will be up for it, and I can see this is going to be a very difficult test for Leicester. This is how Brighton lined up in their previous game against Fulham. So obviously, as you can see, they went with a 3-5-2, which is obviously the same formation-ish. I want Leicester to go. So yeah, Sanchez in goal, the 3 centre-backs of Webster, Dunk and Veltman. Solly March on the right, Caicedo, McAllister and Wepo in the midfield. I don't know who the left winger is, to be honest. And up top, we've got Trossard and Pascal Gross as well. As we know, Pascal Gross has scored a lot of goals so far this season for the Seagulls. Comparing that Brighton team then to the one which I've selected for Leicester, obviously in my team I've gone with a more of a back 5, but comparing the positions on paper, Leicester do have more quality, but it just comes down to that team spirit. And right now, Brighton have a far superior team spirit and they're working much better as a team, a clear identity. And as we know, Graham Potter is a fantastic manager. And most of the time in football, that's what it comes down to, because it's all good having all these good players, but it's a matter of if they can play well as a team and have that identity about them and know how they're going to approach the game and how they're going to play. Because I think, if you look back to Thursday quickly, Leicester didn't have any of that at all. Strike partnership though of Vardy and Iheanacho, I do believe that can really stretch the likes of Webster, Dunk and Veltman if they are starting in that back 3 as well. So Leicester could get a lot of joy in that department. Looking at Brighton's midfield though, with likes of McAllister, Caicedo and Wepo in there, I think them 3 have a lot of quality in there and they could really go against Leicester's midfield, who, in my team, obviously there is a few changes in that side as well. As we know, Graham Potter is a fantastic manager, and of course lots of us Leicester fans do want him as a potential Rodgers replacement, which I can't really see happening. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, and maybe Graham Potter will get the better of Brendan Rodgers in this tactical battle. But yeah, Leicester Brighton, it's time to move on then to the press conferences and see what Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter had to say ahead of this fixture. Brendan Rodgers says that he's not preparing to be in a relegation fight. No, I'm preparing to get to the 40 points. Rodgers on the transfer window closing. As soon as the window shuts, everything stabilises. Again, players know where they're going to be for the next number of months. In my experience, everything itself calms now. The Foxes boss is also expecting a stern test this weekend away at Brighton on match day 6. So with an excellent start, it'll be a tough game, a difficult game, but other teams know that once we start to click, they'll know there'll be a difficult game for them. Here's what Graham Potter had to say then about the new signing of Billy Gilmour. Billy's an exciting signing for us. He's been an able footballer and a great character. He has also have a great personality. He'll fit into the group and can add competition in midfield. We're really pleased to have him here. Talking about the home atmosphere, it helps if you have that connection with the fans and atmosphere at home that makes it hostile for the away team. You have to work towards that. We're playing better. The supporters have been with us and there's been a good atmosphere at the Amex. And some injury news and team news. Joel, I think he's referring to as Joel Veltman there, is fine and Jeremy trained today. Adam Lallana progressing well, but probably won't be back at the side of the international break, although you never know. Wrapping things up then with a score prediction. As I always say, let me know score predictions in the comment section down below. Though honestly, like I said, I'm expecting a difficult game here. I'm still going to try and back the lads and be kind of confident, but I can't really see us getting a win here, so I only go with a draw. I think a draw will be a decent result. Obviously Leicester still with 1 point so far this season, still right bottom of the Premier League table, so if we can get any result here it would be good. Obviously Brighton haven't lost at home yet, so it's going to be difficult, but I reckon we potentially could get a draw, but I really can't see it. It's just a case of which Leicester turns up, because if sometimes the CLC we have played quite well, but other times we've looked absolutely awful. So hopefully we can respond back from that Manchester United game, and a win here could obviously really kick-start our season, but just a case of when that win when it can come. So for me, I'm going to go with Brighton 1, Leicester City 1. It's going to be cagey, it's going to be nervous. I think Leicester may get a goal early on, and then Brighton are just going to pile on the pressure, and somehow Leicester are just going to about survive. But yeah, it could go either way. I could see Brighton potentially getting a comfortable win here. Leicester could turn up and obviously get a nice win as well, but I don't know. Obviously Leicester still have enough quality in the side, but it's just a matter of how Leicester play, how the team is set up, the tactics implemented by Brendan, and just the identity we go for in this fixture. That is the main thing for me. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Goal scorers, I think Pascal Gross is going to score once again. And for Leicester, I'm going to be going with Tielemans to score from midfield as well. So there we go. And that is where I'm going to put a wrap on today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, let me know by dropping a like. Subscribe as well to the channel if you guys have not already. And as we always say, most importantly, let me know your thoughts ahead of this game in the comment section down below. Like I said, it's going to be a tough game, it's going to be an interesting one, but yeah, back on Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff. Hopefully we can get a result. But yeah, who really knows, boys? But yeah, there's always a chance, so let's try and be confident, I guess. But yeah, as I always say, lots of videos on the way. I'll probably be live after the game as well at around 8:30 tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one with the post-match reaction, hopefully discussing maybe a Leicester win or a draw. I'll probably take that. But yeah, if you have enjoyed today's video, otherwise, like I said, drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I've been Sportsa, and I'll see you guys very, very soon in my next video. Peace, guys.